Hi, I am Aravind Narayan, Global Director of Customer Strategy at LSEG Risk Intelligence. Joining me today is Eliza Wyman, Product Director of Platform and Partnerships at Experian. Welcome, Eliza.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
As our world becomes increasingly digital, the race to onboard customers is on full swing. And with that sort of digital convenience comes a challenge with synthetic identity and fraud and identity theft. When you look from your lens, what do you see as a market landscape and how is that evolving?
Yes, digital is the key theme, right? Digitalization has been growing and continues to grow exponentially. It's definitely here to stay. There are a couple of examples that I can actually give you that sort of support this as well. 2-3 years ago, I think majority of us were doubting or asking questions about the adoption of open banking, for example. Yeah. And now we're looking at over 21 million consumers in the UK interacting, engaging digitally with open banking.
Correct.
Similarly, we can look at the digital banks. Their client base has grown as well significantly. 20 million consumers, for example, are engaging with their apps, which is really interesting and really exciting to see as well. Aside from the sort of the political, let's say, stance that we're all seeing in the UK, I would mention that we're seeing real growth in the economy overall. We're seeing an increase in confidence, in an optimism, on both sides, on the consumer side and on the business side as well. And with that comes a lot of market activity, increased market activity as well. And as you say, that brings a lot of challenges, right? More fraudulent activities as well, heightened risks. So there are a couple of trends in particular which I think are quite relevant for this, and I would like to share with you. They're backed actually by some surveys that we run at Experian. We do this every year, and we publish those findings through the Experian UK Fraud and Financial Crime Report. So we essentially interview over 200 businesses based in UK. We interview 2,000 consumers as well. And one of the key findings, which I found quite interesting, not surprising necessarily, but concerning, is fraudsters will never disappear. The fraud activity is always going up and is constantly changing. What we're noticing is, for example, a 9.3% increase in the total volume of fraud reported in 2023. So, to kind of put things a bit into context as well, an interesting finding is that in 2023, there was a 50-50 split between consumers who committed fraud, first-party fraud as we call it, and consumers who fell victim to fraud, the third-party fraud. Right. And that's quite unusual. That's a bit of an anomaly, which is obviously driven by cost of living pressures and greed versus need, etc. This year, though, we are back at typical levels in terms of seeing the third-party fraud more prevalent, across 75% of the cases. But the value per case on average is lower. Now, if to all of this, we're adding the number of suspected cases of fraud, so where fraud is not confirmed but is suspected, we're looking at a true fraud rate of 1.7% of all UK submissions, which is a staggering figure. What we're also seeing is businesses having more appetite in terms of investing in this type of technologies as well. This is definitely one of the trends that we're seeing, the adoption of Gen AI. And overall, it can help them to reduce costs as well.
Looking at the challenges, what are the specific sort of challenges that Experian customers are coming to you asking for help?
We're seeing many challenges across many of the sectors and the industries that we work with at Experian. And it all stems from this sort of rapid transformation we're seeing in the market, an actual shift in terms of the consumers' behaviors and consumers' expectations as well. So look, for example, at Generation Z. They're those tech-savvy, convenience-hungry type of people, green activists. And they're the ones who are accelerating actually this, this combination of physical presence of institutions with digital presence as well. They're the ones whose spending habits, for example, are changing completely the way the industries are thinking of interacting and engaging with these consumers. Then there's the next generation, Generation Alpha. I'm raising one of them. And they're the most technologically integrated generation to date. right? They're the ones who, they're not yet in the credit market. They're still too little for that, but they are absolutely tech savvy already. And they're the ones who tomorrow are going to ditch a brand if that brand is not going to give them the consumer experience that they're looking for.
What are sort of specific use cases that you see combined sort of solution with your world-class platform and our global identity verification data? How is that helping your customers today?
I think this is where the beauty of our collaboration comes into play, right? We're very glad to partner with the LSEG, and LSEG is one of the key partners in a very select ecosystem of partners that we work with. We append LSEG data to the Experian data, and effectively through this partnership, we have a very powerful proposition that we bring to market to our clients. They get to access hundreds of data sources in dozens and dozens of countries, and they get to do this through a single API, a single platform, which gives them access to a wide range of identity verification and fraud prevention technologies. And they get to have a single contractual party as well. So they don't need to go out there and manage these integrations in silos. They don't need to manage those specific data sources as well. We do all of that in collaboration on behalf of the client. The other benefit is that through this partnership, clients effectively have a partner through LSEG who really knows and understands, has a really good, deep understanding of the local market regulations out there, and can identify the right data sources who can actually comply with these regulations as well. Finding them and then integrating into those data sources is not a mean task. So we work with a lot of different types of customers, different sizes across many different verticals as well in industries. From financial services to gaming, they all need to verify their consumers, whether they open a bank account, whether they open a credit card, whether they want to open an account to play, whether they're UK-based citizens or new to country or based outside of UK as well. An interesting sector we both work on is the buy now pay later sector. Strategic clients we have in that sector, we're seeing how the challenge they have is slightly different actually. They're looking for very low friction, low latency, so very quick turnaround time and very high match rates as well when it comes to their consumer identification. We also work on other sectors like solicitor firms, conveyancing firms as well, who need to verify their consumers, in particular foreign citizens who are looking to buy UK properties. So really the challenges are vast across all the different sectors that we see, and it's really good to know that we have a partner, solid partner, authentic partner like LSEG to help us bring that value to our customers.
Thank you very much, Eliza. It was a real pleasure to have you with us today, and look forward to working with you more closely.
Thank you. Thank you, Av. My pleasure.